Check 1, 2. Hey, hey, hey.
Uno, dos, tres. 1, 2, 3.
Check 1, 2.
Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3.
Check 1, 2. Hey, hey.
It only took 5 people. Good morning to all of the Uno, dos, tres. It's out again.
Check. Check 1, 2. Hey, hey, hey. All right, tell them to talk into that one.
Hello, hello.
Check 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me? No? Yes? No? Maybe so? A little bit? Hello, hello. 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos, tres. 1, 2, 3. No? Oh. Can't hear the audio on the back? The camera person?
Wait, here we go. Bring this one up. 2, 2, 2, 2. One more. Some more. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Hey, hey. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey. 1, 2. Sorry. Our apologies.
Check 1, 2.
No. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Huh? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Mic check. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3.
Será vencido. El pueblo unido jamás será vencido.
Okay, all right, let's try, let's try it again. Good morning to all the representatives of the media. Thank you for joining us today. We stand here representing our communities to remind them that you are not alone. We stand by you and we will fight for you. The impact of the executive orders and immigration operations by this administration is personal to me. I'm Congressman Chuy Garcia, representative of the 4th District. As many of you know, I am an immigrant. I represent a district where 1 out of every 3 residents is foreign-born. In Illinois, 2 out of every 7 children have an immigrant parent. An attack on immigrants is an attack on the entire state of Illinois.
Right, that's right.
The actions coming from the White House are rooted in xenophobic, nativist, and racist lies. We must hold the line and push back every single time as we've done before. This isn't about villains or heroes. It's about dignity and due process for all people per the Constitution. When you criminalize entire communities, everyone loses. Immigrants contribute to more than their fair share of the country and commit crimes at lower rates. Our country is better than this false choice. We've been here before, and we know we have to be strategic. We need to be swift and bold in our defense of our community, and that's why we gathered over 50 organizations here today. The administration is trying to make these operations into a reality show, dragging a daytime talk show host with them. This isn't about enforcing laws. This is about optics, not public safety. It's a deliberate strategy to disincentivize the public. It is a calculated cruelty. They say that they're saving children, yet this administration dismantled the task force to reunite separated families at the border and is trying to take away citizenship from children born in this country, which a judge has called blatantly unconstitutional.
That's right.
And it's un-American.
That's right.
There are real issues that federal law enforcement should be focused on, not persecuting people asking for a better life for themselves and their families. We stand here today calling on the president to bring real solutions, not propaganda disguised as politics. We will not be silenced. We will not be afraid. We will defend our diverse immigrant communities across Chicagoland and Illinois and reaffirm that the more you try to bury us, the stronger that we will grow. Thank you.
That's right.
I'd next like to ask my colleague in the U.S. Congress from the 3rd District, Congresswoman Delia Ramirez.
Thank you, Congressman Garcia. Well, buenos dias. I think it's still buenos dias, right? For a couple more. We woke up with the last sound mic. Folks, Delia Catalina Ramirez, I get to represent Illinois' 3rd Congressional District. And because we started chanting, now I can't stop thinking, when our communities are under attack, what do? We stand up and we fight back. This press conference is the exact witnessing of our community standing up and fighting back. The current administration wants to instill in all of us fear tactics. They want to paralyze us. They want to make us immobilized by this moment. But what does the community in the state of Illinois do when we are under attack? We stand up and we fight back. Folks, I wanna say to you, you heard Congressman Garcia say this is personal. The reality is that this state, this city, is a city that has been built upon the contributions of immigrants for decades and decades. And I am a daughter of immigrants. I am a citizen by birthright, constitutionally a birthright. And I'm a congresista from a welcoming state in a district that in the face of fear, we're choosing hope and we're choosing action. Today, we're standing with a number of organizations from across the state that have been doing this work. In some cases, Congressman, you reminded us, before some of us were even born. You have been in this fight for our communities for a very long time. And I want to acknowledge how grateful I am to be standing next to my colleague in the fight with Rep. Congressman Chuy Garcia, surrounded by advocates and leaders that have been doing this work in a city where a mayor has been defending our sanctuary city status, and that we're working across every level of government in this state to be able to stand up for our communities and to fight back. As you heard just a moment ago, on Sunday, the administration brought their cameras, they brought their TV personalities, and they brought an escort of agents to Chicago. They created political theater for their supporters while trying to make us afraid and mobilized. What they didn't realize is that in Illinois and in Chicago, when our communities are under attack, we stand up and we fight back. And what our communities chose to do was to be in action. They have been supporting, informing, and defending each other's rights, and that brings me hope. In the city of Chicago, its residents are educated, and we are proud of being educated in the city of Chicago. We are proud that we know our rights and we understand the Constitution. And even when others tend to forget about upholding the Constitution, some of those even elected, our folks in Illinois understand what our rights are. And today, in this space, with the organizations that are at the front line of this fight, defending our immigrant communities, advocating for them, accompanying them, we are saying that that work will continue. Last year, we committed that we would not stand by while the Trump administration tore families apart and violated people's rights. And I'm proud that we have used education and know your rights as an effective tool to protect our communities. We have shown them that we are courageous, we have shown them that we are organized, and we have shown them that they will not break us. Together in the streets and in Congress, we're going to build an America of hope, an America of justice, an America of love, an America that resists the destruction of fear and hate, because we know the contributions of the immigrant community across this nation. And we also know that without immigrants, the economy of this nation would be absolutely destabilized, which is why I'm so grateful for the movement and the organizations that are here with us today. That when some folks may lose their way in the halls of Congress, you will remind us why we are in Congress. So I want to thank all of you for being here. We look forward to the work that we do together. We thank our local elected officials, our state officials, and all of the organizations that have worked for decades to create the kind of legislative action that protects people here in Illinois. Gracias. And when our communities are under attack, we stand up and we fight back.
Next. Next, I'd like to introduce Andrea Ortiz, co-chair of the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights.
Good morning, everyone. Hola, buenos dias. My name is Andrea Ortiz, Andrea, and I'm the organizing director for the Brighton Park Neighborhood Council, also a co-chair for the Action Council for the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights. Thank you to Congressman Garcia and Congresswoman Ramirez for hosting us today. Since Election Day, ICER members like BPNC and others across the state have been preparing for the return of Trump to the White House by sharing Know Your Rights information and community members, bringing together rapid response teams in Chicago and in the suburbs, and fighting back against attempts to roll back local welcoming city policies like the Chicago Welcoming City Ordinance and the Illinois Trust Act, something that we fought really hard to put into place. Immigrant communities have been through so much in the past week. The harm that ICE is doing extends far beyond their supposed narrow list. This includes entire neighborhoods and entire communities. ICE and the DA, U.S. Marshals, and other deputized federal agents are chilling activity on streets that are usually vibrant and full of activity, and spreading fear throughout the city. But we've been bold and brave. The Family Support Network Hotline and Rapid Response Teams in particular have been an invaluable resource for local organizations and volunteers. In partnerships with other organizations like Organized Communities Against Deportations, we have heard a range of stories from neighbors, from those who knew their rights and need additional resources for the next time ICE arrives, to those whose loved ones are now detained and need assistance with navigating a complex immigration enforcement system focused on deportation above all else. But Chicago is organized, and we are bold and brave. And that's who we are as a city. While it is impossible to prepare for everything, our communities have come together and have shown that it is possible to look out for one another. There is safety in the community that we have built, and together we have the power to fight back against the overreaches of this administration. Remember, you have the right to not open your door, you have the right to remain silent, and you have the right to an attorney. And finally, we're asking community members to call the hotline at 855-HELP-MY-FAMILY if you spot immigration enforcement activity. Again, it is 855-HELP-MY-FAMILY. Or if you or your family member has been impacted by ICE detention. With the strong community, we keep each other safe because we are bold and brave. Thank you.
Next, we will hear from Eder Rendon, the Chief Program Officer, the Resurrection Project.
Buenos días, o tardes, días. I'm Eder Rendon. I always say Vice President of Immigrant Justice at the Resurrection Project, but my title changed. I am Eder Rendon, Vice President of Immigrant Justice at the Resurrection Project. Thank you so much to Congressman Garcia and my Congresswoman Ramirez for putting this together today. We absolutely need to be coming together to make sure that we are coordinating our strategies. Across the state, we have been working with organizations everywhere to make sure that we're reaching communities with vital Know Your Rights presentations. This is being done a lot through the Chicago Legal Protection Fund that we passed in 2016, the Illinois Access to Justice Fund, which we passed in 2019, and the Cook County Public Defenders, which we passed in 2020. We have been, since the beginning, since we first saw Trump go down those escalators in 2016, have been organizing to make sure that we have legal protection funds so that we can do mass Know Your Rights presentations and pair people with attorneys. And organizations will continue to do this work and now also make sure that we're providing support to families of those who've been impacted and direct legal representation to immigrants who are currently detained. To stay updated, to be able to schedule your legal consultation, you can go to trpij.org, where we will also be informing community members of other changes that are happening, like today's announcement that folks from Venezuela can no longer renew their TPS right now. So go on there to make sure that you're getting the latest information and so that you can access the legal resources that are necessary. I believe that Illinois, I believe that Chicago are being attacked because it allows people like me to thrive. I came to the US when I was 4 years old. I crossed the border to be reunited with my dad. As an undocumented person, I was able to go to college because of in-state tuition. My parents have been able to purchase a home. Every undocumented member of my five of us are all undocumented. I have DACA, my middle brother has DACA. We own businesses, we each own homes. We're actually landlords as well. Because Chicago protects us, and because we are able to thrive, that is why we are under attack. And so we need to continue to protect our communities, yes, so that we can prevent deportations, but also so that we can continue to make sure that our kids are going to school, to make sure that our teenagers are thinking and dreaming about college, to make sure that our families who are homeowners can keep them, and to make sure that we continue to open up more opportunities for the American dreams for all immigrants. Thank you.
And next, I'd like to introduce Viviana Barajas, the Associate Director of the former Logan Square Neighborhood Association, Palenque.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Viviana Barajas. That's V-I-V-I-A-N-A, Barajas, B as in boy, A-R-A-J-A-S. And I am a leader with Palenque LSNA in ICER. And I'd like to speak directly to the people at home. I need you to know you do not need to suffer in silence. Regardless of your status, you have a voice and you have rights. And I promise you, you are not alone. We in community are ready to fight for you and support you in any way that we can. Necesito que todos sepan, no tienen que sufrir en silencio. Independientemente de su estatus de documentación, tiene una voz y tiene derechos. Y les puedo prometer que no están solos. Nosotros en la comunidad estamos listos para luchar por ustedes y apoyarlos en todo lo que podemos. This new administration doesn't seem to understand how it's common decency to not use children as hostages, but we do. We will not let our youth be used against their loved ones as leverage for ICE. We will not let our schools become targets for hate and violence at the hands of this new administration. No vamos a permitir que nuestras escuelas se conviertan en objetivos de odio y violencia por parte de esta nueva administración. And we, like so many groups across the city, are working tirelessly to ensure our community members know their rights, that our students know that they're protected, and that our neighbors know we do not have to share the same blood, or look alike, or speak the same language for us to protect one another. No tenemos que compartir la misma sangre, ni parecernos, ni hablar el mismo idioma para protegernos unos a los otros. Whenever you feel alone, I ask that you look around and you pay attention to your surroundings, that you notice the flyers posted on small business windows, that you spot the flyers on your light post or your bus stop, that you read the little ICER green cards being handed outside of your schools, and that you read the packets your kids are being sent home with, letting you know they have rights. Cada vez que se sientan solos, les pido que miren a su alrededor, que noten los volantes pegados en las ventanas de los pequeños negocios, que vean los volantes en el poste de luz o en la parada del autobús, que lean las pequeñitas tarjetas verdes de ICER que están repartiendo fuera de sus escuelas y que lean los paquetes que les mandan a casa con sus hijos informándoles sobre sus derechos. We are undergoing psychological warfare right now, but we refuse to move from a state of despair or panic because we know our communities are built by resilient people who will not go down without a fight. I know it's hard to be optimistic during times that feel dark, but I plead that you lean into revolutionary optimism and that you share the sincere and genuine belief that our communities will come together, as they have done so many times before, to protect one another. And I know for some it may be hard to understand why so many of us are currently experiencing fear, sadness, anxiety, and anger as we have to organize to ensure our youth are safe in their schools. And I know for some this serves as a rude awakening to the many alarms some of our brothers and sisters have been raising for years. But for others, this is just more reassurance of a sad truth we already knew. So if you are someone who has the privilege of being called a citizen, I implore you to get active, Because while they might not be coming for you today, that doesn't mean they won't come for you tomorrow. And you don't need to wait for it to be your turn to get engaged. You can quite literally go to the library and print Know Your Rights flyers and hand them out at your local grocery store or post them up around your block. You can start up conversations with your children, the parents on your school board, and your neighbors about ways in which you can protect one another. You can strive to be a reminder to others that good people still exist, because it is only through compassion, empathy, and taking a stand for what is right and just that we can guarantee a better future for the generations to come. Thank you.
And next, we will hear from Johannes Fabi, another advocate with the immigrant and refugee community.
Thank you, Congressman. Good morning, everyone. My name is Johannes Fabi. I'm an immigrant and also someone who fall in love with Chicago and call Chicago my home. And this community right here, I call them my family. And there is a saying in Chicago that rings true now more than ever. We take care of our own. It's a value that defines us, a commitment to community, to lifting each other up, and to ensuring no one is left behind. But lately, it feels like that spirit is being tested. The challenges we face, whether it's economic uncertainty, cuts to essential services, or the struggle of our immigrant neighbors, are not isolated issues. They are threads in the same fabric, woven into the life of everyone in our community. When one of us struggles, we all feel it. And when one of us rises, we all rise together. It's easy to feel divided, to let fear or frustration pull us apart. But we've seen time and time again that our strength lies in unity. When we come together, black, brown, immigrant, native born, we create something powerful. We create change. This is not about pointing finger or placing blame. It's about recognizing that the challenges we face are shared, and so are the solutions. It's about refusing to let distraction, whether from wealth, power, or division, keep us from what really matters, taking care of one another. Chicago has always been a city of resilience and action. From the civil rights movement to the labor right to immigrant rights, we've shown that when we stand together, we can overcome anything. We don't wait for someone else to fix things. We roll up our sleeve and get to work. So today, I invite you all to join us in building that future. Let us organize, not just for ourselves, but for each other. Let us create a community where everyone has access to housing, healthcare, education, and opportunity. Let's show the world that Chicago doesn't just talk about unity, we live it. Thank you, Congressman Garcia and Congressman Ramirez, for the opportunity and for having all of us here united here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Johannes. Next, we will hear from Delia C, Executive Director of the Hannah Center.
Thank you, Congressman. Good morning. My name is Delia Kovac, D-A-N-A-E-K-O-V-A-C. I'm the Executive Director at Hannah Center. We are an immigrant justice organization in Illinois' 3rd District that builds the power of Korean, Asian American, and multi-ethnic immigrants through critical social services, education, culture, and organizing. We fought back against Trump's first administration, and we are here to fight back now. Like many on this stage and across this state, we are focused on ensuring our communities know our rights and are equipped to exercise those rights at all times in every situation. We know that there is real fear in the community right now, So we want to clearly state that every person, regardless of immigration status, has certain rights under the Constitution. We have developed a free Know Your Rights for Immigrants app, which has already been downloaded over 5,300 times in the past week. This app is available in 17 different languages, primarily Asian languages, but also Spanish, Haitian Creole, and Russian, and has the ability to read your rights out loud to an ICE or law enforcement agent and send a message to your emergency contact. It also has resources including how to look up your consulate, a legal services directory, and a sample family preparedness plan. It's available for iPhone right now and will be ready for Android phones soon. But you can find it in the Apple Store by searching for Know Your Rights, the number 4 immigrants. We have also launched a confidential 24/7 bilingual Korean-English hotline that is connected to the ICER Family Support Network hotline, and that's for community members who encounter ICE or have a loved one who's been detained. The hotline number is 844-500-3222. Again, that's 844-500-3222, and it's monitored by a dedicated staff and volunteers 24/7. Over the next 4 years, we intend to use every tool we have to defend our immigrant communities, protect and strengthen pro-immigrant laws and programs, and fight back against racist and anti-immigrant attacks. We deeply thank Congresswoman Ramirez and Congressman Garcia for your solidarity and leadership to defend our communities, and we call on other members of Congress in the Illinois delegation to do the same. Thank you.
Now we'll open it up to questions that the press may have. Estamos aquí hoy para asegurarle a la comunidad que los vemos, que sentimos lo que están viviendo, que estamos con ustedes y que estamos luchando para proteger y defender a la comunidad. En Washington, en los próximos días, vamos a presentar propuestas que avanzan la protección de los inmigrantes, que pretenden crear avenidas para legalización para la comunidad, pero a la misma vez no podemos ignorar que toda esta campaña está basada en mentiras, en retórica agresiva, falsa, que busca crear una emergencia cuando no existe una emergencia. Nuestra comunidad contribuye, es generosa, construye vecindarios, construye comunidad y ayuda a crear la vitalidad que vive todo el país. El país beneficia de los inmigrantes.
Sí. Y yo añadiría a tu pregunta es que algunas cosas. Primeramente, en nuestras oficinas, en nuestros distritos, tenemos aquí nuestros directores de distrito que están respondiendo inmediatamente y trabajando en conexión con las organizaciones, que si alguien ha sido detenido, su familia puede llamar a nuestra oficina y nosotros podemos ayudar a navegar y tratar de encontrar información a dónde han sido detenidos y qué es el proceso y cómo conectarlos a servicios. Por eso es que es tan importante la relación que tenemos con organizaciones comunitarias. Así que si tú conoces a una familia, tienes un familiar y no has llamado a la línea que está abierta allá, tienes que llamar, y yo sé que lo podemos dar de nuevo, y también nuestras oficinas como congresistas tenemos la habilidad y autoridad de poder también tratar de navegar algunas agencias que son federales. Segundo, congresista García es miembro del Comité Judiciary. Ahí es donde toda la conversación de inmigración se está teniendo, y las propuestas que estamos hablando en este momento, vamos a asegurarnos que sean propuestas que no están criminalizando a nuestra comunidad más, porque eso es lo que Sam Homan quiere, y mostrar que a la gente que están tratando de detener son personas, como dijo Ere, que han venido aquí y han estado aquí por mucho tiempo. Así que ese trabajo va a ser muy importante, y el rol que yo y él también tenemos en el caucus hispano, para asegurarnos que en ningún momento haya esa duda que las comunidades y ciertamente los miembros del Congreso latinos no estén abogando por ellos. Finalmente, yo también soy miembro del Comité de Seguridad Nacional, Homeland Security. Es el cuerpo que está monitoreando y responsable para poder investigar lo que migración está haciendo y lo que está haciendo ICE. Yo soy miembro de ese comité y voy a estar monitoreando muy cercanamente todo lo que está pasando, los contratos que tienen, los carros que han traído, que no son, obviamente hemos visto que no tienen nota, que son de migración, están usando undercover cars, todo eso en términos de monitorear y proveer oversight. ¿Cómo se dice oversight? Oversight, contabilidad. Nosotros vamos a estar proveyendo esa contabilidad en los comités en que estamos sirviendo. Yo también estoy en el comité de frontera y estaremos haciendo lo mismo. Do we want to respond in English? I don't know if you want it. Okay. La próxima? Okay. Well, let me just check. Was there anyone else that had a question from press that? Okay. And then we'll go to. They haven't provided us exact information, and I think we know why. We certainly have seen sometimes in others report that there have been a very limited number of people that have been detained that actually in fact had warrants. But part of what we're trying to do is trying to get that final number because we know that while they said they had warrants for hundreds of people, it seems like that number was a very, very limited number. I don't know if you wanted to add to that.
We don't know. That information is being kept pretty tightly. We are requesting that information. The Illinois Democratic delegation has requested it. What is very evident is that people are exercising their rights, and that has much to do with the fact that the numbers are nowhere where they expected, and that was the comment that Tom Homan made yesterday. So people, because of the work of the organizations that were gathered this morning and others, have done a really good job of letting people know that the Constitution has not been suspended, that it protects everyone in our country, and people are availing themselves of those protections. I have asked for that information. Last week, it was very cold in Chicago, so attendance may have had something to do with it, but we are concerned. And we know that these raids and all the publicity and all of the PR and social media activity around it is harming small businesses in communities throughout Chicagoland. I spoke with several small business people yesterday who told me that if this continues, that they're going to have to close their businesses. That's the harm that is being done today in Chicago by these operations of the federal government because Trump wants them, because Tom Homan has a personal vendetta with Chicago, and people are resisting, but harm is being inflicted on some of the most productive communities in Chicagoland.
Yeah, and I think you can do a pull aside. We do have someone here from the city that might be able to give you some information after the presser. Just one thing, I do want to give kudos to the organizations here because I know that organizations that have parent mentors have been doing some accompaniment with parents as we've heard some anecdotal information of parents who are dropping off their kids perhaps not in front of the school out of fear. So I know that the organizations here are also providing a lot of accompaniment in order to ensure that parents and children feel safe when going to school. Yeah.
I think Mr. Fuente had his hand up. No? Okay.
Last, and then we should come back there.
I think Craig.
I think he,
Oh,
yeah, yes, please.
¿estaba atrás? ¿Quién llegó primero, usted o él? Yo sé que usted es muy honesto.
Muy
Okay.
honesto, muy honesto.
Craig, see, we're not discriminating against those who have been around.
WBBM. Correct. Let me start, and then certainly I want to hear what the congressman has also seen in his district. I have talked to mothers whose husbands were detained through home raids. It were some of the most difficult conversations on Sunday. One of them, we are clear, had absolutely no criminal record. The only thing that had happened was that he entered this country like millions of other people because of a broken immigration system. Absolutely no criminal record. What we have seen is that while they are saying they're coming for a particular group of people, they are targeting everyday people who have been in this country, in his case, for years and years and years, contributing to the communities. And so I think it's really important that when people are hearing this whole thing, they're only coming for the criminals, that is the rhetoric that he's using to really target innocent families and destabilize communities.
It is impossible to reach the aspired numbers that have been espoused by these operatives, especially those in Chicago today, because they don't exist. There are people who have some criminal records who have been pursued by several administrations previously, by the Biden administration. Those are some of the targets that they're going after. It ain't no new thing. This has been going on throughout. Yes, there will be great collateral damage of people who are caught up in these operations, especially when you have 10 officials who are armed, who have vests, who are flashing badges at people. It's a very scary situation, especially if they come at 4 or 5 in the morning, or they come in the middle of the day. If they walk into an apartment building, people are scared. People are going to talk, and people are reacting to a very threatening situation. Yes, a threatening situation. That is the premise of this operation, to instill fear and to get people to feel overwhelmed, and that they have to tell on themselves because of the pressure that is being applied. So we don't have those numbers, but without a doubt, many people who don't have any warrant issued against them, and very few do, will be caught in these dragnets.
That's right. That's right.
Buenos días. En el Congreso, nuestras voces y las voces de nuestros colegas en el caucus progresista, que tiene casi 100 integrantes, una bancada de 100 miembros, vamos a seguir exponiendo que toda esta propuesta y la orden ejecutiva está construida en una premisa falsa, que hay tasas de criminalidad excepcionales entre los inmigrantes. Eso es falso. Los inmigrantes cumplen más con la ley que ciudadanos norteamericanos y residentes permanentes. Menos arrestos, menos encarcelados, etc. Entonces, todo esto está construido en una falsedad. Queremos exponer eso. A la misma vez, queremos presentar reformas migratorias que creen y que protegen a grupos como los que tienen DACA, como los que tienen protección de TPS, como trabajadores del campo y otros grupos a la misma vez. Estamos en esta situación, y esto vamos a reiterarlo en el Congreso, por la falla del Congreso y varias administraciones en crear reforma migratoria. Es por eso que se ha forzado que la gente venga a los Estados Unidos a través de otras avenidas. Eso es lo que ha creado las urgencias que se han visto en la frontera a través de varios años. Pero es una falsedad de toda esta campaña y premisa. La rechazamos, la repudiamos, pero vamos a actuar en el Congreso, en los caucuses hispanos, el progresista, y trabajando con los colegas de los caucuses asiático y el caucus afroamericano a la misma vez.
Correcto. Correcto, yo creo que solo añadirle, habíamos dicho antes también, nuestro rol también es contabilidad y nosotros estamos en comités que son críticos. Un comité que está encabezando todas las propuestas de migración y el otro comité que está encabezando todo lo que tiene que ver con migración, con ICE y con detención. Obviamente estamos escuchando que van a querer tratar de usar toda autoridad para poder arrestar la cantidad más grande de gente. Si solamente hay 40,000 camas y quieren arrestar a 1 millón de personas, sabemos que hay un desconecte en esas dos cosas y tendremos que asegurarnos que estamos haciendo la contabilidad para asegurarnos que haya investigaciones de cualquier violación de derechos también.
Todo esto es carísimo y todo esto va a tener consecuencias para ciudadanos estadounidenses y para residentes permanentes también. No se puede segregar la comunidad indocumentada. Somos parte de una comunidad más grande y tenemos familiares y queridos que son ciudadanos. Todos ellos serán impactados y finalmente vamos a enfatizar el impacto negativo que tendrá a la economía de los Estados Unidos todos estos operativos.
Gracias. Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias a todos.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.